Oh yeah, I'm live on the live stream, man. Might as well get it to it. The show is over. I got the mic set up the way it should be. Hopefully you guys can hear. But yeah, this is just a quick little review, just my little 2 cents on watching this week's Impact. It was a solid show. I like how they edit everything, and clearly it seems like it was pre-taped. So, I don't pay attention to all the spoilers and all that kind of stuff. I kind of try to be surprised week to week. So, obviously, it seemed like it was pre taped. But other than that, um, I say that the card was pretty good. You had a pretty interesting card. The show opened up with Mike Bailey versus Speedball Mike Bailey. So, Speedball Mike Bailey. Now, I little known fact, he actually wrestles in this local promotion that I'm gonna go check out called Fight Life, which is pretty interesting. I literally just found this out not too long ago, and it's funny because I just got interested or just got introduced to him on TNA. So I'm probably gonna end up checking him out soon on the local scene. So that's a sidebar. But yeah, you got Mike Bailey versus Steve Maclin. It was a solid opener, man. I mean, I like that Maclin dude, man. He's solid. Like he's just meat and potatoes. He's just gonna come in there and he's gonna give you some physical wrestling, which I respect. Not too many flips and kicks. Just meat and potatoes. Sometimes that's good, especially it works well when the guy's a good worker and he can work with the guy opposite of him who does the flips and kicks. Because usually those guys are good workers who can sell as well as dish out. So Maclin was solid. He won the match, which is no surprise. And he, started to talk, you know, back out to Nick Nemeth, which is formerly Dolph Ziggler. I like how they're kind of keeping that little feud going. Apparently, Ziggler, Nemeth, was able to kind of satellite into Maclin and say, hey, look, the only reason why I ain't on the show right now is because I was too busy out winning championships in New Japan. And then he showed the global championship, which is pretty cool because that was one of the things that I was kind of grasping with before, when the show started. I was like, how is that going to be now that he is their champion out there and he's, affiliated with TNA? How's that going to work? Do they have a partnership where he can show the belt? Because people like us who do pay attention to other promotions know that he has this belt. So he showed it, and now he announced his match, and him and Macklin's going to have a match at the next pay-per-view or the next special event at Sacrifice. So that's solid. Yeah, and then they just transitioned on to the next match with Jake something. So Jake something is just like this meathead. He's hawking and he's trying to go after the X Division championship and become like the new, the new number one contender. The cool thing with him, well, what's interesting with him is he kind of does remind me of I see a little Baron Corbin in him for some reason. Like his move set, how he has all these power moves and flops around and those types of things and does his flex on and everything and his swagger a little bit. He has a little Baron Corbin to me. But I mean, other than that, he's not too bad. He's a nice guy that they have on their roster that could, really do some things in the X division. And he had a solid match with Loredo Kid. I mean, Loredo Kid really had no chance. He was going in there to get squashed. Let's just keep it real. And that's what happened. He got squashed. To no one's surprise, he got squashed. And once he got past that, he just was, getting ready for the next person that he's going to squash on his way up and facing whoever comes out of the Mustafa Ali chaos. But we'll get to that later. Now the next match was, I believe the next match was AJ Francis and Diener versus Joe Hendry and Rick Swann. So again, like I said in my No Surrender review, which you guys should check out, was pretty solid, pretty condensed, pretty to the point. Um, I am still getting used to some of these TNA characters because I stayed away for a little bit because TNA didn't have its shit together. Let's just keep it real. Right now they got they're starting to get things back in order. And now I'm starting to pay attention. And now when I'm paying attention, I start doing reviews and live streams and things like this, which was really exciting to me. But this match was pretty solid. I got more in I guess I'm paying more attention to these characters again that I'm not really familiar with. Joe Hendry, I'm just now being introduced to. I'm just now being familiar with who he is as a character. So obviously he's supposed to be like this, milk toast baby face, of course, and motivational speaking, and that's his whole gimmick, which is kind of cool. And then he has some awesome move sets too. I like his little uh I like it's an interesting character. How many layers of it he can add to it will be interesting. Like to see his character, how could this character transition into a heel character? That would be interesting down the road. So it'll be fun to see how he grows as a performer down the road. But that being said, Rick Swann, I had to write this on the board. Yo, Rick Swann entrance was fire, man. He got this swagger about him, this funk. I put Soul Man next to his name. He's like a soul man. He comes out there with the swag, get the crowd all loose. And it's not all flash with him either. Like he get in the ring and he can wrestle. He can really do his thing. And as far as his move set is concerned, I think he get a little sweaty from my concern. I mean, I was like, damn, Rick, you sweaty as hell already. Like, man, you've been in the ring for like 3 minutes and you sweaty already. So I think that's probably from all that gyrating and dancing around on stage before you get to the ring, So but he's dope. I like Rick Swann, but I want to talk about AJ Francis real quick. Dude, I had to write this on the board. I said the only thing that's cool about AJ Francis is he comes out to the ring in his own music that he raps to. That's the only thing that's cool about him. I mean, the crowd got it right when they was calling him Uncle Phil because I didn't ever even thought about that until they started chanting it. And I was like, what are they chanting? They chanting Uncle Phil? Yeah, he kind of do look like a young Uncle Phil. Like if you really, say, whoa, damn, without the grays, he could pull it off like a young Uncle Phil or something like that. Man, whatever they do in the syndication tip, man, look at AJ Francis. He could probably pass as a young Uncle Phil. But anyway, nothing's interesting about him. I want to like him as a character because I think he's an interesting guy. I like when he used to do the National Treasures or whatever that show was on WWE, where they would go out and find all the missing wrestling gear for the and memorabilia for the old school wrestlers. He was a part of that show first. He was like the first host. And he was pretty good at it. So he's a good personality. But I think the problem with AJ Francis is the same problem the WWE had with him. It is, what is he? Is he a wrestler? Is he a manager? Is he a hype man? Is he a commentator? What is he? Is he a host? So he's a personality for sure, but wrestler, not really. So that's gonna be things that he's gonna have to figure out as a performer, because to be honest, you don't always have to wrestle. You could be a manager type that can get physical from time to time. That's happened in history before. Bobby Heenan used to do that from time to time where he would wrestle every now and then. Uh, there's others in my mind that's escaping me at the moment, but he's gonna have to figure out his role because wrestling ain't really it. Uncle Phil. That's it. That's the only thing I can think that's cool about him at the moment. But they ended up losing the match. Hendry, I believe, got the pinfall using his standing ovation move. I think that move is pretty cool because he's got an interesting moveset. He got these little squats he does with the standing suplex. Uh, and then he got the standing ovation thing. I guess he puts his hand on their chest, on the opponent's chest, and he lifts them up in the air and he spins them around several times and then slams them onto the mat like a choke slam. It's an interesting move, something different. I mean, it sure beats the hell out of John Cena's, uh, you know, F5 or whatever. I'm not F5. Jesus Christ, I can't even remember the name of FU or whatever it's called. But it beats the hell out of John Cena's finisher for sure. Other than that, they win the match. You go on to the next match real quick. I'm not sure if the ladies wrestled after those guys or no, they had a vignette first. They cut in between into a promo section where they got Fandango. So as I'm learning, I'm watching the show. I'm like, damn, they got Fandango. Last week I said, oh, they got Santino, who's playing, I guess they're like quasi like GM or something, which is cool. I mean, anything with Santino Morello on it is gonna be gold. Like the guy is just a character, it's just he's gonna flourish in anything he's in. But also, I'm like, man, they got Fandango as well. So that's another good character that they added to the show. And I guess he's going by Dirty Dango, which of course is creative. That dude, he be doing some creative stuff. Like he's always going to find a way to be interesting. I give him that for sure. Like, so Dirty Dango is going to be wrestling Josh Alexander because he ended up messing up Josh Alexander's, interview time that he was having because he was asking questions about, I don't know, he's starting up a wrestling school or something. I don't know what the gimmick is. I'm still trying to figure it out. But he interrupted Josh Alexander, which is bad news for him. And now Josh Alexander want to use him, Dirty Dango, as a tune-up. So that'll be next week. That'll be interesting. And what else? Trying to speed through this real quick. Also, you had we're gonna go to Ali's inauguration as new X Division champion. He came out with the podium thing. I'm trying to like it because I like Ali. I think he's dope. He's gonna be in a local show around in my part, so I might want to catch him. So stay tuned to that as far as pictures or whatnot or video I may do or not. But yeah, he's gonna be at a show, and but like I said, I want to I like Ali the wrestler. The guy can sell his ass off. He's got a great move set. All of that. We know how good he is, but this character that he's running with, I want to see how he adds layers to it. Because one thing about him is when he was in WWE, he did kind of struggle with his promo skills, his speaking, and in trying to engage the audience. So this character, this political character that he's playing, could definitely help as far as him trying to expand himself as a promo guy, because that's really all that's missing from Ali is his ability to speak on the mic and communicate and engage and get people interested. So the character so far is pretty good. People are interested. I'm interested. And I think TNA picked the right guy to run with the strap right now, the X Division strap. So, of course, Chris Sabin, who he just beat, former X Division champion, came out, interrupted him. They got into their little thing. Because he got this tag team called the Good Hands. That's supposed to be like his security now. Talk about Mustafa Ali. And, of course, they jumped in because Chris Sabin cheap shotted Ali. And then, after that, I can't remember the damn tag team that came out. Bear with me. But yeah, somebody came out and then Ali left. So I guess Sabin and Ali are not done with their feud. So that's going to continue somehow. I'm not sure if the X Division Championship is going to be a part of that or not. But they're still not done with each other. So they got some more business to attend. The next program was the ladies, I believe. And this is supposed to be the number one contender to go against Jordan Grace. You had the two ladies Let me get the names. You had the two ladies, Tasha Steelz, and you had the other lady, Zaya Brookside. And these are again knockouts that is, they're trying to highlight and give them some TV time and give them some, some burn so they can make names for themselves. Because like I said in the last video on the No Surrender review, they have their stalwarts talking about TNA. They got Moose on one side, on one end, and they got Jordan Grace on the other end. Those are two really, really credible world champions if you're running a promotion. Now, the problem you'll have is adding credible competition to your credible champions. And I think they have a bigger issue in the knockouts division when it comes to Jordan Grace, because she's truly a juggernaut. She's impressive. So, in order for someone to be convincing, I mean, you need someone convincing to go against her in order to make it, worthwhile. So, adding Ash by Elegance, formerly known as Dana Brooke of the WWE, she's going to be solid. She's a nice little add-on to add some type of heat, some type of credible heat to Jordan Grace. And and hopefully you add more, because yeah, that's the problem when you have a dominant champion like that. You need, more convincing opponents. But she came out because the two girls didn't finish the match, so it was a DQ, a call DQ, and Jordan Grace booked her whole match and said, "Hey, okay, you guys both want to be number one contenders, so hey, I'll just destroy both of you at Sacrifice, on the special event on Sacrifice in March 8th." So now the number one contendership has turned into a triple threat match for the Knockouts Championship. Now, they don't have a chance in hell to beat Jordan Grace, but they need to put the ladies on the show, and we respect that, I guess. Uh, what they had after that? Trying to see, what was after that? Oh, of course. I mean, I think the main event was right after that, so it was a very tight show. Like I said, I think it was pre-recorded. It was tightly edited. Very good stuff. And of course, you had the System versus Eric Young and ABC, the tag team champions, the knockout tag team champions. And I mean, you had a solid match. The thing is with the System, those guys can wrestle. They're really good at what they do. And, having the world champion Moose in the faction is just brings so much credibility to the faction. And I don't know if they're going to try to put the belts on Edwards and Murphy or not down the road, but it'll definitely add some more gravitas. Gravitas. That's a big word. It'll add some more of that to that group, because the System is clicking. And when you got a good faction, you got to make them more dominant before you ultimately bring them down. So solid match again. It's all building up for Eric Young versus Moose at the pay-per-view or special event Sacrifice. Eric Young, again, he's a TNA stalwart. He's been there for a long time. He's, he doesn't have a chance against Moose, But again, I think that eventually, like, adding the Nick Nemeths and hopefully other people, they said what, Hammer Time or whatever that dude name is, that's coming to go against Josh Alexander. You guys can correct me in the comments if not, because again, I'm learning all these new characters. But yeah, they need more guys to challenge Moose, more credible guys to challenge Moose. Eric Young obviously is just some guy that that they got to put in along the way until Moose goes against some bigger names. So other than that, it was a great show. It was a good build-up show to their big, their next show, their next pay-per-view or whatnot, Sacrifice. Now, of course, I will be reviewing Sacrifice I'm trying to keep this thing going. These guys keep making interesting content, and I'm gonna keep providing the content to y'all. So yeah, that was it, man, for this week's Impact Wrestling show and my review. So if you can subscribe and subscribe to the channel, and also support the channel by clicking the links at the bottom below. We have a store for nice little lifestyle products if you're into that, and you got some affiliates down there in the box below if you're into Apple Music and you're into the Apple TV Plus, which it's pretty good stuff on there. So yeah, man, thanks for watching this. Tune in next time.